Well, come on, all of you big, strong men. Uncle Sam needs your help again. Got himself in a terrible jam way down yonder in Vietnam.
I'm Walt Mardis. I live in Stamford, Connecticut, and we've lived there for about the past 7 years. Before that, lived in New York for about 40 years. I'm married. My wife, Cindy. We've been married for 50 years. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was an only child. My father was a salesman. My mother periodically worked as a secretary. We weren't particularly well off, so we needed her income to kind of keep things going. I had a fairly normal childhood for the 50s. Things were a lot calmer, a lot easier to deal with, I think, in those days than you find right now. Didn't seem like it was as complex and as difficult to figure things out. Obviously a lot more so now. From there, I went to the University of Cincinnati. That's where I could go with very low tuition, live at home, and not have to spend a whole lot of money. And I worked my way through school driving a Coca-Cola truck. Luckily, someone suggested when I went to undergraduate that I joined ROTC, which basically meant that I would be, if I went through the whole thing and ended up in the Army, I would be an officer, which by itself was an advantage rather than being an infantryman or just somebody else running through the woods. At least I would be the guy in charge of the people running through the woods. The training was very haphazard, I thought, especially given that there was a war going on and there was a need to actually have some knowledge of what you were going to be doing. So I was disappointed that there wasn't more substance to it, more concern, more attention given to turning people who were both basically not soldiers into being officers. And I don't think I came out of it with a whole lot of new skills that I didn't have before. You saw some of the things that made you realize that the Vietnam experience for America had done a lot of bad things for the people who were in the Army, for the Army itself. I became increasingly convinced when I was there that this was a mistake for us to be there. The people, the Vietnamese people that you came in contact with, on the surface, they might be friendly and pretend like they liked you, but you knew down deep they did not want you there. In retrospect, I think that today's military is a whole different situation. I would be proud to serve in today's military. I wasn't proud to serve back then. I was 23, I think, when I got out, and I went back to school. That's when I went to Harvard. The only thing was just kind of being at school where 90% of the people had not been in the military, had not gone to Vietnam, and them not understanding really what it was that I had gone through. My daughter and my son invited me to go on a trip with the two of them back to Vietnam to see a lot of places that I had seen when I was over there, as well as a lot of places I didn't get to see. And the combination of being able to do it with the two of them, and then secondly, to be able to really take in the full beauty and culture and excitement of Vietnam was pretty special. The main thing, though, was being able to be there with the two kids and have them see the same things that I had seen and experience it together, and just the fun of being able to do this with your children. Family is the thing that I value most in life. Everything else is a very, very distant second. My wife, Cindy, and then two kids, Scott and Jennifer, and then 6 grandchildren. And I have to say, number one, that they're probably the most important thing in my life and always have been, and I hope always will be. And I'm incredibly proud of literally every one of them. I've had the luck that all 6 of the grandchildren seem to be happy and thriving and working hard, and more importantly, they seem to be good people. I try to be a good person and try to demonstrate what a good person should be doing, and hopefully somewhere along the line some of them have picked it up.
Don't ask me, I don't give